Let's just begin by taking a minute to be still, which is actually sometimes the hardest part of any class, just clearing your mind and taking a moment, recognizing that this is your gift to yourself, to your body, just like you take your car in for maintenance. This is your maintenance. Start to find your breath. Perhaps you place one hand on your lower belly, so you can bring more attention to the rise and the fall of that part of your lower abdomen. Like it was a balloon that was inflating, your hand lifts a bit, and then allow your hand to fall completely as you empty out all the air on your exhale. I know I'm so busy and I'm using my brain every day, all day. I don't even notice my breath until I lay down into these four corners of this mat. But by practicing your breath, you can recruit that ability to have control of your breath when you do need to get that control of your nervous system again. So start to lengthen your inhale. Pause for just a moment at the top. And then like a ball rolling gently down a hill, let that exhale just glide all the way down to the bottom of your breath, nice and soft and slow. The length of the inhale matching the length of your exhale. And I invite you to take this moment as your breath starts to take shape of its own, to be grateful. Each of us tonight can be grateful that we are healthy enough to take a moment in the evening and be still. Grateful for your body, grateful for your spirit, grateful for your mind. Take one more breath here and then reach your arms up above your head, taking a big long stretch, fingers to toes. Point and flex your feet, work your hands out a little bit, make some fists and then extend through your fingers. Open your eyes. Take a moment, let your vision become acclimated, and then bring your feet to the floor as you bend your knees. Walk your feet really wide off the edges of your mat, so your knees are bent. And you can windshield wiper your knees side to side. So my knees are bent, feet on the mat. Good. And take this just really nice and deep side to side. And if your feet are really close together, you're not going to get quite the same range of motion through your hips. So do take those feet out really wide. And you'll find then when you drop your knees to one side, you hit that resistance in your outer leg. Take a second there. Use your exhale to go the other way. Take your hands out to the sides like a T and start to add a roll of your neck side to side. So as your knees go to the right, let your gaze drop to the left. Head comes through center as your knees go through center, and then drop your gaze the other way. As your knees go to the left, take your gaze to the right. Good. Bring your feet back to center. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Grab the fronts of your shins. Rock a little bit side to side. You can take a little time, you can feel the iliac crest on the back. As you rock from one side to the other, you feel that point where you're kind of holding on the edge of your hip on the bone. Roll a little bit to the other side. And then find stillness, and we'll start to warm up your back just by gently lifting your chin, tucking chin close to chest, seeing if you can wrap your arms around your shins. Hugging your knees in tight, then pulling your chin to chest or finding a neutral spine, making yourself ground through your back. One more big breath in, and then release, legs all the way down to the floor. Keep your left knee bent, take your right leg up towards the sky, and just find an anchor somewhere on the back of that right leg. So maybe it's on the back of your thigh, maybe it's a little bit below the knee, point and flex your foot. Flossing the tendons and the nerves here that innervate all through your foot. Make some circles here with your ankles. Start to gently bring your leg closer to your chest. Maybe you have a little softness in your right knee, but your foot is alive, so toes are engaged, heel towards the ceiling, and just gently bringing that leg towards your knee. If you're holding behind your thigh, move your hands up, see if you can grab your calf, maybe your ankle, maybe your foot. But reach up a little bit higher so that you have to get a little bit more leverage there. Yeah, good. You can bend that knee, so you don't have to have a perfectly straight leg. You could have a softness in that knee, but you're looking for that feeling like, okay, I'm being stretched, really on the back of the knee. Like if you put your finger where you feel it, it is on that tendon that writes on the back of the knee. Yep, yeah, right there. So bend your knee a bit and then get some more leverage through your calf. And I'm really trying to draw my shoulders down, feeling the connection of thigh to outer ribs on the right side of my body. All right, and as in all the things we do in yoga, even when we're just being more slow and stretching and restorative, there's a connection to breath. So find the physical posture. Set your gaze, which could be looking straight up at the ceiling or eyes closed. And then breathe. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out through your nose. On your next inhale, soften your elbows. See if you can gently start to draw your leg a little bit closer to your thigh. So we're pushing into the point where you have more sensation. Exhale, stay there. Good. One more breath here. You might want to play with getting your hands up even higher now that you've gotten some relaxation through your leg, through this tension. So walking your hands up. Some of you might want to see if you can reach for your foot. Good. Or your ankle. Nice. And I'm not like crunching up through my shoulders. I'm nice and relaxed through the shoulders, just allowing this leg to have the space and time to open. We have a natural resistance when we get stretched for almost 30 seconds. So we have to stay there past that point before that instinctual pushback that just triggered by your nervous system subsides. One more moment here. Good. Bend your knee a lot on your right leg so that you can easily hook the outside of your right foot with your hand. So I'm grabbing onto the pinky toe side. Good. Extend your left leg all the way flat. If that is too much, you're like, whoa, that's too much, then just bring that left foot back to the floor. And I want you to take your right foot like it's gonna stamp on the ceiling, but your right knee is bent. So we're not kind of bringing it into the belly button. You've got it in, this is like a half happy baby, perfect. So you're pulling that knee down towards your armpit. And now you've got some leverage with your right hand. So left leg may be long or bent. Take a couple breaths here and really see how you can try to pull your right leg down towards the floor. So opening up through your hip, opening up a little through your arm with the effort, really opening up through inner thigh, hip flexor, and groin. So pulling that right knee down. Good. And notice I've got my leg, I'm not pulling straight down like we were before. I've rotated a little bit out. So I'm pulling alongside my right waist. Nice. All right, we're gonna take our right leg with that soft knee across your body. So start to bring your knee center. I switch hands. So switch hands. Left foot is now grabbing onto that outer arch. I'm sorry, left hand grabbing to the outer arch, and start to pull your right foot across your body all the way to the left. Now, if you've rolled all the way over and your right shoulder is nowhere near the floor, back out a little bit so that your right shoulder can make some contact with the ground. Take your right hand out long, put your right hand on the floor. If you can, take your gaze over to the right. You should feel this a lot, like through your, I call it like your ham hock right back here, that nice firm part that's right through the back of your hamstring and your glutes. Knowing that it is undeniable that we internalize the stress in our physical body, right? If you believe that your mind and body are at all connected, then you know you've felt anxiety in your stomach, or tired in your eyes, or furrowing of your forehead, or creaky and sore when you feel like you're not at your best, you're not feeling valued. So we internalize what's happening in our mind and in our world back to the body. So just use this as a space like you were cleaning house. You're opening it up, opening the windows, letting it air out. One more breath here. Slowly bring that leg back to neutral. And gently let your right leg come down to the ground. It might feel good to do a little reset. Again, just tossing knees side to side. Put your right foot on the floor, knee bent. Hug your left knee in, and then straighten up your left leg. This is where, like, when I do one leg at a time, kind of slowly, for me, I really start to notice, like, my left leg is so much tighter than my right. So I'll notice right away, like, I just cannot get the same level of mobility. So you'll notice maybe that you have a difference. And if you don't notice, then over time, you might become more aware. But I'm holding onto my back of my leg somewhere. And if you can, move your hands up, grabbing more below the knee. So with your leg up, it looks like above the knee, but closer to the ankle or calf. Yeah, and move your hands up, point and flex your toe. Flossing through your foot here. Think about how much your feet do for you. They're the base holding us up with all the stuff that we run around and do. Keeping your shoulders grounded, find a way to start to gently bring your left leg more towards your body. You can soften your left knee. There's that pull again through right back of the back leg, right on that knee, right? So pulling gently towards your chest. I'm looking for compression as much as possible between this big part of your quadricep and your left ribs. So use that leverage of your leg enough to feel that contact between, good to pull, between your leg and your ribs. And this is your opportunity to learn to stay in a place where you're a little bit uncomfortable and find your breath. Close your eyes. Let your gaze be internal. Listen for the sound of your inhale and the sound of your exhale. If there's an opportunity to reach up a little bit more now, reaching maybe for your foot, all the way for your foot, maybe now for the ankle. You've got about 10 more seconds. Just holding this pose, holding your leg towards your chest, getting that opening through the backs of your legs. So, even when you fold forward, like you're reaching down to the floor, or in yoga, you're doing a forward fold, it's not just your back that's having you fold. Really, it's the back of your knee that has to have that length in those tendons to allow you to have straight legs and fold deeply. So when you're supported on your back, we can work on that. Holding through your foot. Nice. Breathe. All right. Hold on to the outside of your left foot with your left hand. Bending your knee, start to bring it down into that half happy baby. You've got the option with your right leg to extend all the way out or keep your foot on the floor. You'll know if extending it out is too much. You'll know that right away. Good. Breathe. Use the strength of your arm, your bicep, as you bend your elbow. Really try to pull your knee down to the outer edge of the mat, in that space that's next to your armpit, pulling down. Good. And all your awareness right now, all the things that try to distract you, ignore them, turn them off, and bring your awareness to this gift you're taking to your left leg. Use your breath as a way to open the windows, air it out. All right, friends, we're going to reach across as you bring your left leg more across your body. You can keep your knee bent, switch hands. I'm grabbing the outside of my left foot with my right hand gently, so be careful. Start to roll that leg over to the right. I'm letting my left shoulder stay grounded. So again, remind you that you have significant mobility differences between your two hips. Look symmetrical, but we really are not perfectly symmetrical in the mobility sense. So be mindful. If you can, take your left hand out, palm down on the floor, out like a T, and drop your gaze to the left, and energetically draw your left shoulder down to the mat as your left foot just crosses over to the right. Softening here, take a breath. Gently come back to center. Release your foot. Slide your left leg long onto the mat. Reset, taking a big stretch, fingers to toes. Pointing and flexing your feet. Good. Bend your knees and scoot your hips all the way over to the right edge of your mat. So now my whole body's on the right edge of the mat. Roll over onto your left side completely. Support your head with your hands and take your right arm up towards the sky. Hug your knees together. We're going to keep those knees glued together as much as you can as you start to drop your right shoulder back down onto the floor, letting yourself twist at the waist, maybe letting your gaze follow. And I'm really trying to keep my knee over to the left. So started here on the left side of the body and then roll open, keeping my knees over to the left. If they start to separate a little bit, that's okay, but I'm not like flopping them up straight up towards the ceiling. I'm letting that twist happen. I invite you to take a moment and think of something that you can remember from today that gave you joy. The simplest thing. Just one thing that you can be thankful for that brought you pleasure. Great. One more breath like this. And then come all the way back over. Before we go to the other side, you can roll over so that now you're just on your tummy on the mat. Shouldn't have to make too much of a fuss to get there. So now I'm face down. Make a little pillow with your hands for your forehead. Soften down into the mat and bend your knees, then toss them side to side. Just opening up through your glutes a bit. Good. Sphinx pose. Lift your chin. Drop your forearms to the mat, pulling your elbows to be in line with your shoulders. So I've got my elbows stacked right underneath shoulders and then pressing my hands into the mat. Lift your chest. So I'm not lifting up my hips at all. I just have a soft bend in the back. Gaze straight ahead, just like the Sphinx. Relax through your feet. And you always, really anything that we're doing, you could have your eyes closed. There's no balance here. You don't need to be able to see. So just be inside tonight. This mat is your charging pad. It is your battery pack to help you to sleep wonderfully and wake up ready for whatever we face this week. One more moment in your Sphinx pose. And then lower your chin all the way down. Relax your arms. Right. We're going to do floor bow while we're here on our belly. So it might be one leg at a time. Let's get there with one foot. So bend your right knee, reach back with your right hand for your right ankle. Okay, good. Stay there for a second, just feeling the sensation. Flex your foot on the right. And see if you can use a little effort from your arm, drawing your heel gently towards your glute. And release and let's switch sides. So supporting yourself with your right arm, bend your left knee, reach back for your left ankle, flex your toes. And I want you to notice what's happening with your left shoulder. So if you're collapsing that shoulder down towards the mat, pick up your shoulder, draw it back towards the center of your spine. So I'm squeezing that shoulder blade in, if you will, in a little opening through the front of your chest as you pull your left heel gently, gently towards your glute. Good. All right, great. Let go. Let's see if we can do both feet. All right, bringing your legs a little bit more to center. Bend both knees. Reach back. Catch ankles or feet. Good. And this is a great place to lift your chest. Set your gaze steady. So gaze is down in order to not crunch up your neck. Push through your shins. Lift through your thighs. Nice. And even though you're kind of extended, you can take a nice deep breath in here. As you exhale, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Good. And then gently, gently, slowly release. Very nice. And now we'll just roll over the other way. All right, so before we were lying on the right edge of our mat and we laid on our left arm. So now you're going to roll over onto your right arm. With your knees together and take your left hand up towards the sky. So we're doing the same thing we did before, just the other way. Start to drop that arm and shoulder open to the opposite side. Good. Keeping your knees drawn over. Let your gaze fall open to the left. Good. This is kind of one where you can visualize if you had a hands-on assist, it would be a hand on the thigh pushing down and a hand on this left shoulder gently kind of opening through your chest. Energetically, do that for yourself. Feel your shoulder take a subtle twist through the ribs, opening up here. Always find your breath. There's no purpose in that pose if you're just moving your body around through positions. Get there and then get the benefit by connecting your breath. That's the connection. Good. Come back through center. And make your way up to your hands and knees. Take your knees hip-width distance apart. Start to shift a little bit side to side. So before we do cat-cows, let's just shift hips side to side. So it's like you're just wagging your tail a little bit, but I want you to check in and make sure that you've got about 2 fists of space between your knees. So your knees aren't close together, because if your knees are further apart, you'll get a little bit more mobility as you just shift side to side. Feel that change also as you shift a little bit side to side in your shoulders. And then come to a place of stillness. And we'll do a couple cat-cows, which we worked on yesterday. So as you set yourself up for your cat-cow, I want you to really look down and make sure you have a stack of shoulder, elbow to wrist, all 5 fingers pressing down into the floor on each hand. So the arm bones are holding you up. Now you can just start to articulate through your pelvis in your cat-cow. So exhale when you round your back, tuck your chin. Inhale when you drop your belly, tilt your tailbone up towards the sky, lift your gaze. Exhale, round. And this is a great chance to practice that feeling that you're not just moving your upper shoulders, but something is changing in the position of your hips and your tailbone as you move. Good. One more of these. And then child's pose. Take your toes to touch, knees out wide. Drop back nice and slow. Reaching forward. Relax your forehead to a block or to the pillow or to the floor. All right, friends. I feel like this is such a good time to do pigeon because it's not the kind of thing you'll just pop into on your own. So I'd like you to come through your hands and knees. Before you go to your downward dog, make sure you have your pillow or your block nearby because that will be used to support your hip. And then tuck your toes, lift your knees, find your downward facing dog. Let your head hang here for a moment. Soften your knees as much as you want. So there's no importance in having perfectly straight legs. It is important to have perfectly straight arms. Protecting your shoulders by pushing the mat away, making that upside down V. Is there a chance that with an exhale, you can push the mat away through your hands, bringing your chest more towards your thighs? All right, good. We're going to take our right foot and take it forward. So you can lift your right leg up towards the sky, or you might need to drop your left knee and kind of help your right foot get there. But take your right foot forward, drop your back knee. We're in lizard first. Sorry, I wasn't clear. There you go. Okay, so my right knee is right over right ankle. Good, Nicole. Good. Yeah, more forward. Even more if you can. Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah. Good. And back knee is down. And then you might just stay right here, hands on the mat. You might need the block underneath your hands, or you might be able to come on down to forearms using the block or to the floor. But it's like I've got this grasshopper leg, right? What we don't want is the heel to be back behind the knee. So not this, more this, okay? You'll feel this a lot through this left hip flexor and through this right leg. All right, opening up the left hip is going to help you a lot when you go to open your right hip in pigeon. So now start to walk your right foot over to the left edge of your mat. Drop your right knee to your right wrist and take a second to get settled before you fold forward, supporting your right hip with the pillow or with your block. I like the pillow personally if you got one that's kind of not too thick. but the block will work also. But I'm not letting myself just drop onto the floor. I got my right hip lifted with the block here. Good. If your right foot is tucked in a little bit, that's fine. Our goal is to try to get it more central to the front of the mat, but really my right wrist and right knee are connected. Yeah, nice and lifted. Push the mat away with your fingertips, and then it's like you're trying to telescope forward as you lean forward and down. Big difference in that sensation as you go down. Okay, so this has been your fighting moment. Now you got to chill out and actually do the pose. So actually get a little softer here. Come back, come in like just a smidge more. If you can widen your elbows or soften or drop your forearms to the any level of the block, get a little bit deeper here. All right, this is the window that like hasn't been open for a long time. It was stuck shut. And so much good fresh air is going to come inside when we get that hip open. So let it open. Okay. Not too long here. Rise yourself back up. Move your block. Take yourself back to your downward facing dog. Take your time. And once you get there, bend one knee, then the other. Pedal it out a bit. We're going to do lizard on the other side, and then we work our way into pigeon. So you can drop your right knee if you need to get your foot there, or lift your left leg. Hugging your belly button as tight as you can. That's going to help you when you sweep your left foot forward to the outside of your left hand. Nice. And drop your back knee. Again, you want your heel to be forward or under your knee, not back. So we're not doing any of this kind of angle. We're doing this angle. Okay. All right. Hands can come to the block or to the floor. If you're not feeling like you're really being stretched through your right groin and hip flexor, then you need to scoot your right knee back a little bit. Right, so we have this goal, I think, through any kind of functional movement. And to me, that's what yoga is for, is the functional movement. I'm not interested in seeing who can do splits, you know, but I think we have to be both strong and mobile so that we can do things we want to, when we want to, and not get injured. All right, friends, back out just a bit. Walk your left foot across, across, across. We're trying to square up left knee to left wrist when you drop down. Give yourself the space, scooting your right knee back, and give that support underneath the left booty. So left hip has the block or the pillow. Good. Before you're too quick to go down, take a second, set yourself up, and then like you're leading with your sternum, fold forward. If you can close your eyes and kind of tuck your head down into a little space here, deepen your breath. Inhale and exhale. I applaud you guys for organizing your life in a way today that you prioritized each other, you prioritized this time for yourself, you prioritized your body, you prioritized continuing to have the courage to keep trying. And I don't just mean with yoga, I mean with a lot of things. Just keep trying. Take a full breath in, full breath out. make your way out. Make your way out. Back to your downward facing dog. Pedal it out here. Okay, come to your hands and knees. I saved the ouchiest part for last. It's roller time. But then we're gonna sit with our legs up the wall for a second, and that'll be nice, right? Okay, roller time. Look, mine is nubby also, so that'll be very exciting. Okay, let's do this together. Ready? Roller is on the mat. Let's face the right edge of our mat and get the roller onto your right outer, or your left outer thigh. Okay, and look at my legs. So my legs are stacked, and I'm going to take my right foot and put it in front, so I'm bracing here. All right, I'm supporting with my left forearm on the floor. Yep. Okay, Nicole, you got it. Sarah, I can't quite see you completely, but I trust Nicole will correct you. Okay, and then look, we're going to use that forearm as stability and start to go up and down. That track stripe that's on the outside edge of your pants, that's your IT band. And wow, that nubby roller is serious business. I'm getting into the space. You know, you can only kind of cover maybe 6 or 8 inches. So I'm getting into that space from mid-thigh to knee. That's where I am right now. And then we're going to move it up and work that other half of your leg from trochanter, the protruding part of your hip, to mid-thigh. Give me a thumbs up if you're okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now let's try to roll the whole thing out. So do a couple with the full range of motion that you can achieve. Okay, and I will remind you why we're doing this as we switch onto our left quad. So drop your right knee to the floor, both arms to the floor. I'm in a half frog position with the right foot, and I've got that roller underneath my left quadricep, right? So half frog, and I've got space, so my left leg is lifted, and I'm able to roll back and forth on this hamstring. So myofascial release is the point of rolling. It's like when you have a necklace and it's all knotted up and the chain is very fine. I mean, you can pull and pull and pull, and it is not going to get any softer. You have to kind of roll it out, right? You have to work out those little knots. So think of that very fine coating that's around the sheath of your muscle. And we're just working out all those little knots. Okay, so you guys are muted, but I hope you're like making a lot of great noises right now. Okay, one more. Kind of like rolling out the dough right there, huh? Okay, now back yourself up, back yourself up, back yourself up. Get that roller right into your hip crease. So I'm in the hip crease of my left leg, and let your weight just drop down on it. Like if this was a little ball, it's just a very, very small little motion, just working out. So that's where your hip flexor is in that bend of your leg, like where your groin is. Your hip flexor is like super tight rubber band, right? And particularly for people who are running, it can get very, very tight. Some people have more flexibility, but more weakness. And so either way, we're just kind of, that's the area we're targeting right here. One more breath. Okay, back up, and we're gonna do the other leg. Whoo-wee. So we're doing the right leg, outer part of the right leg. So bringing yourself to the floor, okay? Brace with your left foot. Right forearm is holding me up. I got my left foot in front. In front. Yeah, okay. This is the doozy. And I'm working out that track strike. Mid thigh to knee. Come on. Don't die yet. Some seriously painful situation here, I know, right? That working that IT band is so intense. Okay, let's take it up a little bit if you haven't already. So I'm going to adjust and move on that outer part of the upper thigh. Okay, we're almost done. We're almost done. Reap the benefits. Okay, flip yourself over. Half frog with your left leg. Bring the roller to the big quadricep muscle on your right leg. Forearms to the mat. Roll back and forth. This is where, just with your own body weight, you can really get like a lot of that tension just to roll right out. If you need to take segments, you could do that. So you could just work like a little bit above the knee, if you're rolling it out one section at a time, mid, quad, and then all the way up. And then we're going to drop ourselves back into the roller, getting it up into that right hip flexor, so that where the crease is of your leg, your groin, bring that roller all the way up. Keeping the half frog with your left leg, and just a little movement here. You're just kind of giving that area some tension. This is a great place that if you don't already practice a yoga breath, this is a great place to learn, because you have to take that deep, steady breath. We're not going to breathe like panting. We're not in childbirth. We're just going to take deep, steady breath. One more second here. And then back out. Okay, your legs. Hopefully you're a little bit looser, right? So let's give ourselves the final gift with the legs. Move yourself so you can take your legs up the wall. Oh, we'll take legs up the wall. And that'll feel nice. Just lay down, put your legs all the way up. And I like to scooch so that I get my hips, just like that, kind of get to the side of the wall and then put my legs up. And you can take your hands, hand to your heart, hand to your belly if you want that connection, or you could just kind of throw them out to the edges or the sides or above your head. This is an unapologetic moment. As you close your practice tonight, as often as so many things, especially right now, feel wildly out of control, our reaction and our interpretation, as hard as it is in our control. The Buddhist idea is that the suffering is inevitable. It is our response to suffering that is our choice. This is your final deep rest, so close your eyes, let your body get heavy. See if you can find a rhythm with your breath. And if you have a mind that starts to fill up with clutter, attach your breath to a number or to a word, such as inhale, I, exhale, and that's all. That's enough.